was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back, episode 23 of the Coach's Son podcast. I know you have missed us, bit MIA. We've taken a little bit of a break, reset, and we're back better than ever. We actually have a special one for you guys today. But before we jump into it, my fellow members here, my co-hosts, Steve, James, welcome. How are we feeling? You guys better after your reset? How you feeling, Steve?
You know what?
You
know what I was thinking? There's no better time to do a reset than 2 weeks before the season finishes.
That's right.
But you know what? Just before you did that intro, listening to the proper intro, this was not meant to happen. Goosebumps, eh? I've missed it so much.
Always. Great intro. I don't think I heard a better one, to be honest.
When was shirt?
James, how are you?
Where's my shirt?
Your shirt's coming. It's coming. I promise. There's shipment delays, eh? It's coming. It's coming.
These
Like this new merch, everybody. You like it a little bit, huh? We got new shirts. We got new mugs.
Business must be
mugs.
good.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Keeps the good stuff hidden, huh?
Give us your Miss Vampire. Cancelo.
Oh, fuck.
All right, James, how you feeling? Steve's obviously fantastic.
Good, mate.
How are you?
I'm still a bit sore from the weekend's game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to jump into the weekend's game.
But either way, we are. I think Eric Ten Hag made a comment saying that he reckons United are the most entertaining team. He hasn't come down and watched Putney Rangers all age. Let me tell you, you will see goals.
Yeah, at least give him the score for the weekend.
7-6. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
We had entertainers. To be fair, we had so many people watching our game.
We did.
I reckon people came for the other games next door, on the other side of the canal, and they came and watched us instead.
100%. We had to give them a show, so we thought, why not a goal spectacle?
I think they looked over and they're like, hang on a second, is that the guys from the Coach's Son podcast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We said, hey, get a Sharpie.
That's a goal every 7 minutes.
Who's counting?
That's the level of entertainment we provide.
That's it.
Simple
That's why
as
you want
that.
people to stay for 90 minutes, Steve. It's the best, mate. That's what you
90
want.
minutes, 90 emotions, like the old alley game.
All right, let's jump
Good
straight into it. We have a special one for you guys. We actually reached out to our listeners on socials, and we asked everyone to send in some questions, and we got a great response. We actually couldn't get to them all, but we picked our main few that we thought were unreal. Got down to it, down and dirty. We loved it. Just the entertaining ones that I think everyone's going to enjoy. You guys ready?
Oh,
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready? All right, we are starting strong here with Harry. Oh, this is a good one. Who would you pick in your all-time five-a-side team?
Oh, my God.
That's a good one.
It is a good question, eh?
What a strong one to start with.
Harry,
so much,
thanks for
Harry.
reaching out. That's a great question.
Love it. Starting off with a bang.
I mean, I'm sure we're going to have some
All right,
big
so we're
players.
gonna thinking we're going four players and a keeper.
And a keeper. It has to be 5-a-side.
Yeah.
So yeah, be keeper and 4
All right.
outfield players. Should we
All
do
right.
it like one position at a time? So we've got goalkeepers. Wait, what's your formation? I've got a 1-2-1 with a goalkeeper. So goalkeeper, 1-2-1.
Yeah. Well, I think you can. Depends on the
Do
player.
however you want,
However you
yeah.
want, mate. All over. You go all rounder. I reckon just go out straight ahead and just give us your full five-a-side. Tell
All
me,
right.
James. You got it on the tip of your tongue. I can see it, mate. Tell me. Tell the listeners. Tell me.
In goals, I've got Neuer. I think, obviously, our standing goalkeeper has been for many a year. Obviously, was Germany number one. Has been for a very long time. And loves to run upfield as well. So, I mean, I can't remember which game it was exactly now where he's pretty much gone, taking the ball up to the opposition box. So, and you need that in a five-a-side game. I've got one-man defence. This guy, what a player. I'm pretty sure, I think if my memory serves me right, Ballon d'Or winner, Cannavaro.
What a
Ooh.
What a
Yeah,
player.
He was a Ballon d'Or winner, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think maybe the
believe
only
so.
defender.
Was it maybe straight
Oh, I
after
could be
the
wrong,
World
no,
Cup
defender,
win?
but-
Maybe.
Yeah, it would have
I
been.
think. Yeah.
You'd think
Big.
so.
Check
Yeah.
Cannavaro. Big defender. After
Hey,
big
Capitano.
two-man midfield. I've gone for some razzlers. Absolute razzlers. Zinedine Zidane and Ronaldinho.
Wow.
Yeah, I do like that. I
Beat
do
that.
like that.
Wow.
Beat that. You've got
Wow.
Mungo. You've got Flair. What else do you need?
Ay.
Up front,
That's a good one.
undisputed, GOAT, greatest of all time. Everyone's waiting for me to say Tom Hiddleston. But Lionel Messi.
Yeah, good shout.
Lionel Messi.
All right.
So Neuer,
Good shout.
Cannavaro, Zidane, Ronaldinho, Messi. There's your five.
Good shout.
That's not a bad five-a-side team there. I think I've already accepted. Yeah, you know what? I've already accepted defeat here, to be honest. And I may have gone without a goalkeeper here, so I've had to quickly put up the substitute board and take out Gareth Bale. So he's now come off, and I've put Edison in goals from Man City. I did want someone, again, who was good with their feet. I think Neuer, I would say he was the first goalkeeper to, really come out of his box and be that sweeper keeper, from memory anyway. Edison's the one that's doing it at the moment. I think he's got an incredible left foot. I reckon he could ping some top corner for sure. In defence, I've gone one-man defence here. Big Ledley King. What a player.
Big shout.
Can do it all. So you're not going to get anyone better than him. Who else have I got here? How many is that? 2 so far, yeah? Midfield 2 of Luka Modric and someone with a lot of flair, Neymar.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. You like that?
It's a good one. It's a good one. A quick feed. It's a good one.
And up front, I've gone with an absolute fucking menace. That is, I might even mention him later on, Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney.
Wazza.
Yeah, it was a toss-up between him and Defoe. But I wanted that bit of extra mongrel in there. And I've gone for Big Wayne.
Big Wayno.
Okay.
I like that, Steve.
Okay.
It's a good team. It's a good squad.
Adam?
I'm purely, basing my team off my experience playing. Remember him play FIFA Street back in the day?
Yeah.
FIFA Street. Unreal. We're talking
Big game.
five-a-side team here. I've added a couple that I thought, from back in the day, and also some current players. I've started off, James, you'd mentioned from the Italian squad. I've put Buffon in goals for myself. Gigi Buffon. Unreal. Gigi Buffon, consistent. Retires 5 times, come back 5 times. You know what I mean? Unreal. Gigi Buffon.
Oh, is he still playing?
I think
How old is he now?
Somewhere, playing manager
60?
somewhere, surely.
Yeah. Good job,
Then-
Bunny Rangers.
At the back, big Verge. I had to put him in. I just had to. Big Verge, big
Push him
player.
in, not
On the
to.
feet, strong. Yeah, have to. Then I've got my midfield. Ronaldinho, just
Yeah.
FIFA Street. It just comes back. You got to
Baller.
put him in. Absolute baller. And then, just in front of him, James mentioned too, my team, the GOAT, Leo Messi. He's in there. But, up front,
Up front, okay.
R9, Brazilian Ronaldo.
Oh, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, vintage. Unreal.
Very good.
What a player.
What a player.
What a
he was.
player.
But again, another one that was
That's
got
a
hit
mug.
with injuries, but
Mm,
I think
top player. Top player.
Mourinho even said that he was probably the best. Mourinho said some players. Mourinho said he's the
Yeah.
best player he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Did
He was a
Wayne?
top player.
It
No,
was incredible.
absolutely not.
He was
Well,
incredible.
that was a hell of a
Oh,
first
That's
question
a
there, I
big
think.
squads there. Thank you,
That was
Harrison.
a big squad.
And
Big
you know what,
squad.
guys? Let us know your five-a-side team. And Harrison,
Yeah.
reach out to us. How about you reach out to us with your five-a-side team, and we'll
We can
share
post
it,
it.
considering
Mm.
you initiated the question. Thank you.
Mm.
Good.
Good shout. Moving on to second. This is from David. Is Australian football expected to become more popular can we expect larger crowds and events?
Ooh,
This is a tough one. A bit controversial, this one.
That's a great
No doubt.
question,
Good
David
question.
Beckham. Thank you so
David
much for
Beckham.
getting in touch.
David Beckham, Australian football expected to grow a bit more popular. Look, I've got some serious opinions about obviously Australian football. It is the most participated sport in the country, right? And I think in the sport that it is, like, it allows many different types of people, many walks of life to be able to play the sport too, right? And at all different ages as well, which really helps. But I think, again, we need the support of the governing body. We need the support of the governments. I love the fact that after Japan, South Korea held their World Cups back in 2002, I believe it was, they heavily funded football, heavily. They saw the difference that it makes. And now you look at South Korea and Japan, and I wouldn't say they're world powerhouses by any means. Like, they're not your French or your Italy or anything like that. But they've got solid first teams, right? And their competitions over there, especially the Japanese competition, packed out, full stadiums. It's unbelievable. And I really want to see the governing bodies here right off the wave of the excitement that we saw from not only the men's World Cup in Qatar, when all the crowds were heading up to Federation Square in Melbourne and Darling Harbour here in Sydney when we're getting out of the group stage. But remember the buzz around the place when the Women's World Cup was on?
Yeah.
Everyone was getting into it. And it's such a powerful thing, such a powerful sport. I mean, even the episodes we're talking about our songs and stuff like that, just the memories and the goosebumps you get from those songs.
Very emotional.
Yeah, I really think they should really do a lot more to try and help create a stronger competition, and that's through the grassroots. But I think, I don't know for you guys, but for me, I still remember back in the old NSL days. Now, it's great to see those clubs still exist and they're coming through with a B League coming shortly. But I think the generations that are growing up now only know the A-League, and I think slowly but surely, if they continue to follow and watch, which we encourage them to do so, in 10, 20 years' time, we'll see a stronger competition.
It is. It's that little bit hard one. And if people also tuned in a couple of weeks back, we also had a couple of guests, coaches from the NPL, and then also someone in to talk about, progression to overseas and stuff like that. A big topic was, obviously that came up was the cost, which is somewhat unfortunate for younger players to come in, and the talent that might get missed because of how much it actually costs to play these days, to fund the clubs. Necessarily, that's where most money would be coming from. I think on average, it's about $2,500 just to play for a season. And that's all the way from 13s. And if you're lucky enough to jump into a 20 squad, and that's when you stop paying. But yeah, it's tough,
that's probably
man.
cheap these
That's
days.
a lot.
It's probably gone up.
That's
That's back
a
when we were
lot.
playing.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, especially in lower clubs and don't get the eyes and attention that you might think that you might want to receive. But I think that's somewhere where they need to start pay attention to a little bit of that.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's where the governing body can
that's
potentially help. Obviously, make it easier for people to play football at a higher level. Because you play at a higher level, you start to grow more. You're surrounded by better players, playing against better players, and they need to help the people that potentially need assistance that can't afford it, or even just make it a lot more affordable somehow for everyone.
Yeah, potentially maybe even a grant or something to come into play where potential people could apply for footballers to actually play, because there probably is a lot of talent that is missed because of that.
Absolutely.
But if you sort of shift to maybe A-League, if you sort of consider it a pro and a con, you somewhat get players that are tending to come in that might attract a big name. That's happened over years. Del Piero recently, Nani and stuff, I think Del Piero was probably like the most consistent one that came and played a lot of games. Ever since him, I think a lot of players have come, and unfortunately with injuries, they might see lacking towards the end of their career, and it might just be somewhat of a money thing. You never know. That's the thing. So much money probably gets towards them coming over, where money could potentially be allocated to different resources and academies and that type of stuff, where they'll come for a year, they leave, and then we're back at square one again, and you're looking for the next player to come over. So it just ends up being like a full circle thing. That might get a little bit of traction that year and more people in seats at stadiums and stuff like that. But I think in the long run, it's a little bit hard to consistently provide with that too.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Maybe there's just not enough of an appreciation of how big and how good the sport is. James mentioned that it's the number one most played sport in the country, seventh most funded. And then it just, obviously, when the big events come around, everyone gets amongst it. But then for 90% of the year, everyone forgets about it again.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's so many different sports that are played across the country, they don't appreciate, or maybe they've still got the mindset of maybe the Australians probably have the mindset of it's not a coward sport, but a girly sport where, these guys dive and rugby league players, they put their bodies on the line, and we appreciate that so much where they don't.
Right, I think
much
that's turning now. And I think you start, you watch a lot of rugby league and stuff like that, and you see players doing things with engagementship, staying down when they feel high tackle and whatnot. There's talks and they want to try and ban the kickoff because they're concerned about head injuries and concussions and stuff like that. So I think the modern day is starting to turn away from that, starting to appreciate the sport as it is itself. But I think population comes into it too. I mean, we're a population of 26 million people on the other side of the world. You know what I mean, as well, too. So I think we need to start, obviously, hopefully, feeding it into our younger generations to start watching the A-League and appreciating the A-League and going to the A-League. So then when they're of age, whether it's player age or supporter age, they're going themselves, they're the ones going to be growing themselves.
So definitely I think it's 50-50, room for some
question,
work, but it's still not bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks, David Beckham.
Thanks for that one, David. Moving on to question 3. This is a bit of a 2-part question from a couple of people. This one is from Matt. So since recording this, Leverkusen has obviously won the Bundesliga undefeated, still going undefeated actually to this date. All right, so if Leverkusen win the league unbeaten, would it be more impressive than the Arsenal Invincibles considering their roster and available funds? Bit of a 2-parter here. This is from Terry. If Leverkusen win all competitions without defeat, can you name a better season by any other club? Very impressive, this run. Unbelievable, to be honest. Yeah. It's very impressive.
A very good question, too. Thank you so much for getting in touch, Matt.
And Terry. The second one.
And Terry. Yeah, and Terry. Thank you, Terry.
Matt and Terry. Look, I mean, going undefeated is obviously a fantastic and incredible feat. But I think regarding, if I'm just looking at Leverkusen now, is it more impressive than the Arsenal one? Look, probably. You're playing in a competition that's been absolutely dominated by one team. And then obviously you wouldn't even say Leverkusen is probably the second biggest team there because you've got Dortmund in the mix there as well. So yes, 100% is unbelievable considering what they've achieved. However, if I'm looking at footballing achievements, I turn to Man City Centurions. For me, that's probably the biggest achievement. I mean, you go out to play football to win, right? And one thing that I saw, the other day, and obviously you can do the math yourself, you can be undefeated and get relegated. And I think that takes a shot off it a bit. You play football to win, you play football to entertain, just like we did on Saturday, right? 7-6, right? But you play to entertain. That's what, and that's the thing, we're talking about obviously driving more popularity to the sport and watching people sport. People aren't going to sit there and watch nil or draw. As much as I love a nil or draw in the sense that, you love a tactical game in that sense. But I think actually going out there trying to win games, leaving yourself exposed to the back to then lose games, getting 100 points in the season is unbelievable. I think that for me is probably the biggest Premier League achievement. Because if you can get relegated while being undefeated,
it's one of those things.
That's impressive too.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think quickly reading out some just stats, just going back to Matt's question and comparing Leverkusen and the Invincibles, the Arsenal squad. So Leverkusen at 46 games now unbeaten, and it's never been done in the Bundesliga as much as Bayern Munich has had those incredible 11 seasons now winning the comp They had always lost a game, so this is the first time it's ever been done. They're at 130 goals scored, 35 conceded, and they won the league by 16 points. And that was with 5 games to go. So, and then the Invincibles were 49 games unbeaten, 112 goals, 26 conceded, and won by 11 points. It's one of the things you weigh up because obviously one being Premier League, more exciting league, maybe a little bit more competitive, but still Leverkusen's in every single competition, still running forward, and just very exciting, man. They've had, I think it was 15 games with goals scored in 89th minute or beyond to either, and I think 7 of them went to actually win a game.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
It's very it's very impressive.
You know
I think Xabi Alonso's done an amazing job.
You know what I've just done to Leverkusen?
Jinxed it. Put the curse.
Put the coach's curse.
Oh, no.
Put the coach's curse on him.
You're joking.
It's real, guys. It's real.
This is Terry's fault. Who asked that question?
Terry and Matt.
It's real.
Thanks, guys.
It's a real thing. So stay tuned in the next coming weeks.
100%.
Yeah.
Think about it.
They're not going to win the game for the rest of the season.
We've just done it. We've just done it.
If I had to compare a better season altogether, I would. There's been a couple treble winning seasons. So if they went on to win everything, you would possibly put them up there with Man City. They just did it. Barcelona has done it in the past recently. Man United in 99. Would you put them up there with them? Probably not. I reckon just below that, just because it is the Europa League, I believe they're still in.
Yeah.
And while recording now, they haven't actually achieved it yet.
Yeah.
Comparing their season to Arsenal, I just had a look at how they went last year. They finished 21 points behind Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, the Leeds. And now I've just checked, they're 12 points ahead of them.
Yeah.
That's a massive turnaround.
Yeah.
Massive turnaround.
Huge.
That's huge.
So, I'm in favour of Leverkusen over Arsenal. I'm in favour of Man City's 100 points over Arsenal as well, best in the Premier League. Overall, I don't think you can compare just yet with Leverkusen's, if they win the treble, to the other treble winners over the past, 15 years?
And we're apologising in advance.
25 years, I should say.
Yes.
That's true as well.
Thank you for the question, lads, Matt and Terry.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, moving on to another one. And I think I'm going to let you guys battle this one out. Give me your answers for this one. This is from Michael. Is Euro 2004 the greatest underdog story of all time?
Michael.
And for anyone that doesn't know, this is when Greece won at the Euros in 2004.
That's a huge question.
Tell us, Jack.
Tell
us. 2,000 to 1 odds, I'm pretty sure. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's ridiculous. Where obviously everyone's going to throw Leicester at 100%. Leicester were 500 to 1 odds. Greece were 2,000 to 1 odds.
I think they were 5,000 to 1. Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester. I think Leicester saw was even more.
At the beginning of the season. That's impossible. No.
Beginning of the season, yeah.
How can it take me 5,000?
I'm pretty sure. I saw a photo of it because they were like on the verge of relegation.
5,000 to 1.
Yeah,
There were 5 games to go. They were 7 points from safety, and they somehow scraped in out of relegation zone.
So either way, but that's like big. I don't know. Massive. There's probably one though that I rate, one achievement that I rate bigger and better than anyone else. And I'm going to cast your memories back. 1901. There was a non-league team. When I say non-league, a non-professional team. So, Department Rangers, right?
Yeah, I was going to say a bit like that team that you're playing on the weekend.
Literally them.
The
Entertainers, yes. 1901, club called Tottenham Hotspur won the FA Cup in 1901, and hence was also born the tradition of the ribbons on the FA Cup trophy. You didn't know that, did you? The chairman's wife put ribbons before the trophy was presented, and then that tradition has stuck ever since. So that That is some achievement. Imagine, Adam, we go and win the FA Cup. The FA Cup. We go beat.
Can
Go
be done.
past the NPL clubs. Sorry about them. We go past the
Australia.
Australia Cup. Sorry. Go past them. We go beat Sydney FC, Perth Glory, Central Coast Mariners.
Sorry,
Yeah, exactly. Imagine that. Imagine Putney Rangers, us sitting there at Accor Stadium, Allianz Stadium,
Bremner.
at Bremner, home advantage.
I
With a
love
cricket
that.
pitch in the middle.
I
Red ribbons.
Look,
You know
this is
what?
the biggest,
It
is
was
the
a good-
Greece, the biggest achievement. Depends who you're asking. Obviously, they're asking us, so we give an answer.
Let's say of
No,
let's say of
1901.
modern
It's still
times.
Yeah,
counting.
yeah,
The last
yeah.
30 years.
Yeah,
Still
not
huge.
yeah, not
Are you
not
kidding
BC.
me?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it
We
wasn't.
shouldn't let. We
I'm
shouldn't
not. I'm
let.
saying in the last 30 years.
Okay,
I'm not saying
okay.
all time.
So, hang
Obviously,
on, in 100
Spurs
years'
of all
time,
time.
is like Leicester's achievement going to be irrelevant? Is it going to be less brilliant?
I don't remember mentioning
You know
that.
what? I sort of went out of my memory, and then I saw a post about it the other day, so that's the only reason why I remember
Exactly.
it again.
We should.
But,
We should
um,
keep
Leicester-
things
Leicester
in
or
the
Spurs?
history.
no, Leicester,
Keep
Leicester. Or
things
Spurs. Spurs is
history.
ingrained in me forever.
We should
Yeah.
appreciate
Oh, for
these
sure.
things
Yeah.
for a long time because they're
Yeah.
unbelievable
If they-
achievements. But no, look, I'm sorry,
100%.
1901
First.
first.
They are firsts.
So, yeah. Well, I think, like James said, it's on opinion, depending
That's
who
my
you're
opinion,
asking.
mate. Stephen, what do you want to say?
Greece, Spurs,
Good
Steve.
on ya. Yeah, no. Leicester, obviously, incredible achievement. 5,000 to 1, James. But people forget that Greece still had to qualify. There's 50 teams, 50
Yeah.
nations that qualify for the last 16
Actually, that's fair.
for the
Because
Euro
what would have been the
finals.
odds of Greece winning from the start of the qualifiers?
From the
That would
start.
have been like
That's
10,000
right.
to 1.
Yeah.
That's right. They had to finish first to qualify automatically, and which only the top 16 do. And then they're put into a group where they have to get out with Spain
And
and
Russia.
Portugal. And Mother Russia.
Russia.
Big team.
Easy.
Czechoslovakia to go
Easy.
past. They were a
Going down
big
in the
team.
history books.
Beat France.
They were huge.
France.
Zidane, Henri.
That's right, mate.
Who are they?
Think they are? They're
Oh,
rubbish. So,
yeah.
yeah, good shout. Okay, fair enough.
Thank you for the question, Michael. I actually have no comment on that one, but yeah, I'll leave it to these two. But I appreciate it.
Let us know how Liverpool won the league in that COVID year that, should be.
It's true. Still
Null and
celebrating.
void.
The bus still going around. Yeah, bus still going
That's the
around.
greatest underdog story ever. How Klopp somehow
Yeah, that's the
brought
greatest.
that Liverpool squad from nowhere.
That's it, mate. Absolutely brilliant, eh? These teeth came from nowhere as well.
Question.
Next question. This is from Max. Who was the most surprising talent in EPL history, and who was the most intimidating player?
Good question.
Good question, Max. Double part one there.
Let's start
We love
with
it.
our most surprising first, maybe. Do you want to say? Look, when I think of surprising talent, now, I mean, you look back and you go, "What a player!" But I think obviously just the immense rise this player made over just a short period of time, and how humble he is too, makes it even that more. I won't say surprising, but unbelievable. Is first one comes to mind when we get asked a question. N'Golo Kante, obviously, won it with Leicester, unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable season. With the Chelsea, won it there. World Cup, won it with France. I mean, that's surprising. And he was, playing in some club in France, where he was a nobody. And then all of a sudden, within 5 years, he's done it all in football. Not it all, but he's done all of it. So I think for me,
He basically did.
that's huge. N'Golo Kante is my answer to that
huge.
one.
N'Golo.
What's your answers?
Steve.
Adam?
You know
No,
what?
no,
I
Adam,
think.
you go. You didn't have a
Yeah,
good
you
last
go.
time, mate.
Look, it's very fresh. I've actually changed it up my answer here because I didn't want to copy. I didn't want to copy abuse.
Tell us your answer.
Didn't want to copy abuse.
We want to know your original answer.
No. Because I'm
Yeah,
terrible.
show us your answer. Come on.
You know
Yeah,
what?
do it, do it.
I will.
So we
I
can
will.
all laugh.
I'm-
So we can
Back
all
yourself.
laugh.
Back yourself. Back yourself. New merch coming soon. I've picked coming into the squad. I've picked the Liverpool squad. 2015, we signed Bobby Firmino. Unbelievable. Surprising talent. Incredible. No one picked him to be the top scorer that he is. The top scorer.
Oh, shit.
He has scored for any Brazilian. He's the leading scorer of any Brazilian in the Premier League. Unbelievable talent. And
That's
I think
huge.
that
That
top
is huge.
three, top three, it would be nothing without him. And I'm going to give you a couple of stats here of Bobby Firmino. Not to just have the best teeth in the EPL, I will tell you. 256 games over an 8-year span. 82 goals and 50 assists. You know what? If that's not surprising, I don't know what is, I don't know what is.
Give me anyone else.
Hey,
Give me anyone else
take it in.
who's
Take
come
it in.
into the Premier League and gone to Liverpool and just...
No one.
He's gone to Liverpool and he's just lit up the world, has he?
Yeah. Look at his smile. Just light up the pitch.
Obviously.
Are you for
Incredible.
real?
Let me have mine. You can have yours.
I thought this was
All right.
this was an
Take
open
it.
discussion.
Take it, Steve. I thought this was a safe.
Yeah,
I thought
This
this was a
was an open
safe
discussion
space.
podcast.
Yeah.
We can,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can say our opinion.
Not a.
Bobby Firmino, are you kidding me?
Fuck it. All right, Steve, go before I start crying.
Hey, leave him. Hey, wait, we used to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to change your answer.
Yeah,
Who was the other one?
Or no, to be fair, it was very recent, but I think he was in the limelight. But I still think for what he did last year was very impressive.
Virgil
I had
van Dijk.
Erling Haaland to come in and Erling Haaland to come in and score as many as he did. I think it was very impressive. Yes, he was in the City team, but yes, he was a big player. Didn't come on the biggest fee, which is pretty wild. And to do what he did, pretty incredible. But that was my other one. But I thought I'd get tormented a little bit, so I went my first one. Steve, go.
Yeah, that was
Go.
a good one.
Please go.
Cool. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I went for. I've written down 2 players here. More
pick one.
players that the streets won't forget. My first one was Papi Cisse. When he came in, I'm pretty sure he came in January, scoring 13 goals in 14 games, which is a pretty incredible stat for someone who no one had even heard of. And, of course, everyone remembers his double, especially the first one against Chelsea, where he's out on the left touchline, mate. He just fucking...
What a finish. What a finish, mate.
Incredible. So that was my first one. I thought that was pretty good. Actually, after they turned to shit, he only scored 24 goals in the next 103 games. But
Still good
the
odds.
Streets don't remember that. The Streets remember when he first came in. And the other one was, I'm pretty sure he's still playing today, Dimitri Payet, when he was at West Ham. Yeah, another one that the Streets won't forget. Incredible player. Went on to obviously play for France as well, played for them at the 2016 Euros and probably one of their key players there. I also wanted to give a shout out here to our friend Tim Cahill. Tim Cahill, no one expects an Aussie to be a real star, superstar. And I don't think he was the best player, but I think for Everton, he's a hero for them. And he's a hero for Australia for everything that he's done.
Timmy Cahill. James, who you got? Steve had 3. Very impressive.
I already said mine, but I'll say my other one, who I thought was a big surprise, but it was more someone that left the Premier League. Was Cristiano Ronaldo when he left Manchester United to go to Real Madrid. No one expected it. No one. I mean, he's going to such a small team.
I never even heard of him.
Small team, right? He reminds me
I haven't heard of him.
Inspiration Bobby Firmino. He's gone to such a small team and just linked the one up on fire.
That's where he got it from.
Honestly, you've picked one. You picked a player that a non-football watcher will be like, Ronaldo? You know what I mean? My nonna knows who Ronaldo is, mate. Listen, it's not surprising. Get out of here.
He's for real. They'll recognise I don't have a piece out of the body
Hey,
for me.
honestly, hey, listen here, mate. Listen here.
Nah, when,
Yeah. Go on, finish your rap, mate.
no,
Go on.
I mean,
Finish your breakfast.
going to the second part of the question was the most intimidating players. I had a bit of a list.
Oh yeah, we
I
forgot.
had a bit of a list. I just wrote all them off because we, too busy talking about, Bobby Firmino being such a surprise package. Stuart Pearce, I mean, had a nickname Psycho, says it all. Diego Costa, I think he would have been a bit of a handful to mark. And obviously, he used that intimidation factor when he's playing. Mentioned this guy before in the podcast, Duncan Ferguson. Absolute nut. And I mean, this guy is an obvious one, but I picked him for different reason. Was Roy Keane, and I think more. The reason why I picked him was more for his own teammates. I think he would have been very intimidating towards their own teammates. You can't muck up, you can't mess about, you can't make mistakes. He would have set levels so high in that change room at United that he would have been very intimidating for any new player coming in, especially in young players and stuff like that trying to break into the first team. So there's my list of intimidating players.
For my intimidating, I don't know if you guys remember him, George Elokobi from Wolves, centre back. He was a big boy. He was terrifying, to be honest. Him and Traore, just producing just massive talent at Wolves. They're scary lads. I wouldn't want to be tackling them or marking them, to be honest. George is mine. Big George.
Slide right off, mate. Especially Traore. I got another two here. I couldn't pick. Vinnie Jones was the first one that I put down. 7 red cards. First player in the Premier League to get 3 red cards in one season. That's very impressive. Proper villain on the football pitch, who then turned into a proper villain in Hollywood. Big superstar. Everyone, a lot of people now who probably didn't watch football back then, probably know him only because he's been in movies, but little did they know he was an absolute animal on the pitch as well.
Probably didn't remember.
Good shout.
He probably didn't watch those movies. I think he was in Euro Trip. He was in Choose the Man. People watching probably don't even know that he actually was a Premier League footballer.
Nah, no way. The other one went for kind of like a continuation of James's Roy Keane. More so a whole squad from Roy Keane up until that Man United squad up until 2012, 2013, where growing up as a Spurs supporter, it was a bit tough. It's still fucking tough now, let's be honest. Whenever we came up against Man United, honestly, back then, we're talking 20 years ago, never felt comfortable, never felt like we were going to win against this team. Bit like how when you listen to you don't listen to other podcasts, other TV shows about Man City now, how they say the match is already done, finished before the first whistle. That's how it kind of felt with Man United back in the day.
I mean, pose an interesting question.
And I had to pinpoint.
You posed an interesting question there. I remember that, but I don't think it was just Spurs. I think most clubs coming up against United, especially towards
most clubs.
Between maybe 05, 06 towards 2010, 11. You're coming up against the Sir Alex Ferguson United team. I think most clubs knew that they didn't have a chance.
100%.
They just had that aura about them. And that's a very interesting question. Does Man City have that same aura? Do they have that same aura about them?
I don't know. For me, I don't feel like they do. But kids that are maybe 10 years younger than us, they might in 10 years' time, and if there is another squad, let's just say Liverpool go on and be as good as what City have been the last 8 years, they might think, that City team was so much better than what this current Liverpool team are. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I think that Man United team is so much more intimidating than what Man City are right now.
I think it depends if they can find a special
good
talent like Firmino that's just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's right.
When
They need to
Bale
find
signed
a
for Real
Fabinho.
Madrid, that was
Yeah, I'm gonna send you his highlight videos on YouTube. Eh? Don't worry, I'm gonna
When
send
Messi
you.
signed for PSG,
Don't worry.
who was he?
Kaká?
Like, you know what I mean?
Don't worry, everyone loves Firmino. Anyway, thank you, Max, for that question. Really in depth for that one. But I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Max Verstappen.
2 more to go. Or this one, this is 50-50. This is from Alex. Alex B. Where do you fix Manchester United? And does Ten Hag stay or does Ten Hag go? Here we
Alex
go.
Brosk. What does he care?
You guys start. Yeah.
I think.
What do you think?
I think that Ten Hag has maybe just kept his job towards the end of the season. I think if things like this certain game that's just gone past with Coventry ended up going the wrong way, even though it was a terrible performance, and them coming back,
lost too.
little results coming back and beating Sheffield United. I think even though they're bad performances, the 3 points is something that they're just still going to look at. I just think that he's hanging by a thread, but there's a couple more games, and if he plays it safe, even though you've got games like Arsenal and stuff coming up, I think, and if they give City a good fight in the FA Cup, I think he hangs around, to be honest. Because ideally, he leaves. Who do you bring in? And are they really going to fix what they've got going on unless you really go in depth at the transfer market and bring in players? Yes, they've got the money, but then you're just going to have to do a reshuffle again. So
he stays, right? You're saying, what does he do to fix what's currently going on?
I don't know. Well, the thing is, then I don't know if you get rid of current experience that they might have that aren't doing their jobs, and you maybe spend the money on getting a player that can lead a team, and potentially players that don't look like they're happy being there. You just get rid of. Like, there's Rashford's been in talks, and Rashford's been in the news constantly this year of looking like he doesn't want to be at the club, but he's probably your highest paid player. He was the young prodigy coming up, and he was their main man last year, but he's, it's been a complete downfall this year. But it's one of those things that, do you need to do what sort of Liverpool's done and completely start a whole new team from scratch? Are they going to give him that sort of budget? Who do you get rid of? I just don't know if another coach coming in is actually going to solve problems that might be there. Yeah. But then again, you've also got new owners coming in or that own portions now that might want a whole new start. And it's one of those things.
I don't think he's done enough to stamp an authority to say, what results might not be there, but I deserve to be here next year. What I think he will go. I think for them to improve, he needs to go. I think United fans probably want to go back to the glory days in the sense that they want that. I want to say direct. When you say direct football, people will think, Route 1, long ball football. I'm talking back into the old 4-4-2, forward passing direct football. Get the ball wide, get it in. Get the ball to the striker's feet, get the ball forward. They want that attacking football back. And I remember when Pochettino was at Spurs and he had that kind of second striker in Dele Alli with Kane up front. Then he had the two midfielders in Dembele and Wanyama together. And it was very much that forward fluid attacking football that drew the attention. Eriksen was on the left, Sonny was on the right, and vice versa. Like, they drew the attention of United, but even back then, and United fans crave that kind of football. And I think they will stick by some poor results if they have that football which they're so familiar with. Now, one manager who does this, and I think if he gets back, can probably be there for a very much long term, and it is a gamble, Eddie Howe. He loves playing with two up front. He loves that forward direct kind of attacking football, right? And I think if he goes there, and I think he would need to be back, like any manager needs to be back, but I think at the start, what he did with Newcastle last year, he didn't make a wholesale changes to that Newcastle side. There's still players that's been there for such a long time, but he brought this forward direct way of playing football that excited the crowd, excited the club, and thought, this is football that we want to see. I think Man United would love to have that. Back to that 4-4-2, back to that direct attacking football. And if he gets back to United, I think he could probably find some success there. So Someone of that mentality. Because I think Ten Hag hasn't sold many people.
It's just not the, you know what it is? It's just also the how big the club itself is it's just him not living up to fans and the reputation that it actually has. I think it's just been the downfall. And if you probably went through the amount of transfers that they've made since Ferguson left, and just no consistency on how performances happen, and they've had big names in. It's just one of those things that just hasn't worked.
But that's the thing. Like when you play against Newcastle, they're in such a transitioning period. I don't think they've got the players that potentially that. I think United probably overall have better players, right? But you're going to be in for a battle against Newcastle. You're going to be against a tough game because they're just going to go forward, be direct. They're going to be fast. They're going to be fluent. They're just going to go out there and absolutely go for the kill. That's what United fans want to see. And I think if he goes there with such better players, the United fans, will go, we'll cop a 3-2 loss because we've seen some form of play here that we're so familiar with and we actually appreciate seeing that we know will become dominant with better players coming in.
Steve, any thoughts?
Yeah, I can't see him being there next year, let's be honest. And I just wanted to point out, James mentioned Eddie Howe. I just want to cast my mind back a couple of months ago where I pretty sure someone on this pod mentioned Eddie Howe might be a good fit for Man United. I don't know who that may have been. From his smart signings that he did at Newcastle, has done at Newcastle, nothing over the top, and he's changed that club from being in the relegation zone to making the Champions League the year after. United have had not manager after manager, every 3 years maybe they've changed their manager, and it just hasn't worked from there. It's just been like a yo-yo, no consistency. None of their signings have really stood out. So, yes, Eddie Howe could be a good fit, getting a couple good signings in there, making them a bit more direct and pushing every single season for that top 4 spot where they should be.
We spoke about that aura already that United used to have. Think of the aura. It's not there where United, but Newcastle last year. What a dangerous place to go and play your football because you know you're going to be up against it. They have that aura about that. It's going to be a hard game. And I think with that, and then I think a signing that Eddie Howe could potentially make in that position would be someone like an Ivan Toney, who's played with 2 up front at Brentford, who plays with support, and Bruno Fernandes as their second striker.
Well, it's one of those things that Newcastle were somewhat in financial trouble. That's been in the news a fair bit at the moment, that they were looking to actually get rid of a couple of players just so they can balance things out. Will be a sort of a story if Eddie Howe leaves, brings Isaac with him as well.
Oh.
Could potentially work out because Isaac is incredible form at the moment.
Imagine.
Newcastle in the air. But you know what? There's a lot of coaches in the pool at the moment that could sort of
and look, this is just off the back of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
This is all conspiracy.
I think that could definitely fix.
You never know.
I think United.
The reason why
you never know.
I think United fans want that.
As much as we're putting our thoughts out, we're gonna have to wait for Fabrizio to let us know what's going on. Huh? We're gonna have to wait and see. But yes, Alex, to answer your question, we have no idea, mate. That's just our thoughts.
We have every idea. And that's exactly how it's going to happen. How it should happen.
Can you joking?
Can we get fantastic answers here? Are you joking?
You joking?
Hey,
you have no idea.
Don't worry, hey, Alex. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Google.
There you
Ten
go.
Hag stay.
We know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Fabrizio comes to us, mate. Comes to us. All right, last question.
100% he watches that pod.
Last question. They've been fantastic so far. I'm going to finish on a good one. This is from Andrew. What's your opinion on how Man City are able to keep selling high-profile players like Jesus, Zinchenko, Palmer to rival clubs, and it doesn't seem to faze them?
There you go.
Go on. No, you go. Please, sir.
Steve, you go.
Tell us more about Ronaldo. Tell us.
They can just replace them with the best players anyway. They've got 115 charges for a reason.
Does he still think that I wasn't taking
players
the piece with Ronaldo when we're saying Ronaldo? Because what he's saying now for me, because if he thinks I'm actually being serious about that, he's got...
You are.
He's genuinely got no idea. He's talking about himself. But yes, go on, Steve. Rant about their spending.
Sergio Aguero. We cannot replace him. Who are they going to replace him with? Haaland. All-time Premier League. Might be the all-time Premier League goal scorer, but he won season best Premier League goal scoring season ever. That's who they go and replace him with. They can do whatever the fuck they want with whatever fucking players they want. Jesus is no good anyway. Zinchenko is no good anyway. So fucking shit fucking things that he's put down there anyway. Couldn't put some much better players on there. But yeah, they can do whatever the hell
that's the
they
thing.
want.
I think until maybe a financial system comes into play where I think they're talking about that, or other teams obviously would like it if there was a steady system on how much clubs could spend, blah, blah, blah. Then I think City, as Steve said, you're just going to keep replacing talent with talent.
Agreed.
And they're not going to have an issue. But they do play amazing football, but that's
Credit
another
where
thing
credit's
too.
due. Credit where
100%.
He has developed a system
mastermind,
where he thinks, he genuinely believes
100%.
these players do not fit my system anymore. Right? I will go find someone that does fit that system. That player obviously is going to be at the top of the top, and they can afford that and they can pay that. That's fair enough. But credit where credit's due. We're talking about United having that aura under Sir Alex Ferguson. Ferguson, the same thing. He would renew his strikers every couple of years. You think of the players that played for United, the strikers that played for United over all those years. You know what I mean? From your Van Nistelrooys to your Louis Sahas, Dwight Yorks, Solskjaer, Berbatov, Van Persie, Van Nistelrooy,
Tevez.
Carlos Tevez, like Michael Owen coming in for a couple of years. Like, he reached to renew all because he developed a system that he wanted to go, I can never replace this guy for this guy because he fits in my system better. So credit where credit's due with Pep. He recognised this player's not going to fit in this system. I'm going to go get somebody else to go fit in this system. So I'm happy to relieve this player. It's a benefit they obviously have that they can go, if we do lose someone, we can replace them with pretty much anyone we want, right? And I think you look at
yeah, but we cannot replace
you look at players like Gundogan, who they've obviously lost, who was a big key to their team as well. But again, he's managed to make tweaks within the system,
especially last year,
that covers for him. They didn't really directly replace 100%. Gundogan, did they, in that midfield?
No, I think that's the only one that they're probably missing this year.
To be fair,
back-to-back.
He's made a tweak to his system where he's able to strengthen up his midfield. By now, rather than having just his left and right fullbacks interlapping and coming in, he's now pushing centre-backs into a midfield position. All of a sudden, John Stones is a midfielder. So he makes these tweaks to these players that he can work with this to cover these players that he loses as well. So I think credit where credit's due as well.
Oh, 100%. I think he changed the league completely with the play that he's brought in since he's come in, and the trophies are there to show it as well. But yeah, it's just as things keep running, I think they're going to be top of the table most years. We're just going to have to wait and see. There's still a bit of a title race at the moment, but who do you guys think quickly? A quick question to start birding a little bit. Who do you have? Who wins the
Liverpool.
league? Arsenal's on top.
Arsenal's on top.
So be serious.
It depends. Liverpool, if Liverpool sign Bobby, if they have this season, honestly, the game would have been finished already. The league.
Play a coach.
Liverpool.
Play a coach. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Andrew, that was a great question. Thanks again. Don't make me upset. That is the end of a beautiful segment right there.
Episode.
Thank you, everyone, for sending. Yeah, thanks for sending in those questions. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Emotion.
I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. We're going to be doing this again soon because we love the interaction with our supporters and everyone who's watching.
And there were so many questions. We've got to get through all the rest of them.
We could go up to a part 7. Is that me?
We apologise. We apologise to absolutely fucking no one.
Respect, man.
And
Respect.
as I mentioned, we were MIA for a little bit, but we're back better than ever. We've got a lot of strong episodes coming up. Some guests lined up too, so it will be fun. But as always, interact on our socials. We're going to do some giveaways, as I mentioned.
Yeah, keep
some merch
an
coming
eye
out
out
soon.
for it.
New
That's
mugs
big.
keep it coming. Keep
Big
it coming.
shirts, big mugs.
Come down and watch some games at Putney. Interact with us. We love
Putney
it.
Rangers, come and say hello.
And that is the question and answer episode 23 of the Coach's Son podcast. Thanks, everyone. Your puppy.
This was not meant